We're joined by Bianca today, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Brenda. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, so Greg gave a little bit of an intro beforehand, but if you want to just give us the quick lowdown on your beauty line and your media platform.
Yeah, of course. So I spent my whole career telling stories. I was a journalist for many years, and then I had a late night talk show that was syndicated in 20 million homes in the US. And growing up in linear television, it's been really amazing to kind of see how we have new media. When I first started seeing the signals of this and where things were going and the trends, we really had to embrace it. And the people who have done successful and great things, and the people who kind of want to believe it's not happening, well, they're getting left in the dark, as we know. So, digital platforms here to stay. Obviously, it's not just a way we consume content now, as I'm seeing with my line that I just launched. So I'm seeing it as a way where we shop, where we talk, where me now as a founder of a beauty line can have a direct pipeline with my consumers. So when we talk about digital content, we know there's an abundance of it. So my mission at Garza Digital, which is my production company, is to really create content that's going to inform you, entertain you, but also be a catalyst to have a conversation that is going into the future, that's having an impact on humanity.
Right. So I want to kind of, talk about that social media platform that you have. When you first started your line specifically, how would you say that there's a ton of brands out there that are on social media that are building their voice and their kind of stance within this world to distinguish themselves. How would you say that your line specifically, is unique among all the other brands?
And it's a great question because everyone has a voice now. And so when I was growing up and using beauty products, like I couldn't call Estee Lauder, right? Like I'm not going to reach the head of, development for MAC, right? But this is beauty like we've never seen it before. So a few years ago, after coming off my syndicated late night show, I wanted to create a product that wasn't so heavy on my face. So that was really the ethos of my company. Less is more, you are enough. So In Glow We Trust was born, and it's this serum that I created and the line we have coming out now. And basically, as a woman, as a mom, as a Latina, I think beauty should be fun and playful, but I also think beauty should be not just fed to us by mainstream media. So to get to your question, now when I have my Instagram followers and they can DM me and say what they're looking for, what they like, what they don't like, I, as a founder, can now go, okay, my end users here, and they're on a global platform. What do they want? And I can know their needs and I can anticipate their needs, and we can actually build something together, which for me is so much cooler than we've ever been able to do before. And I feel that for many years I was on TV, it was like, you have to look this way. This is your persona. And we are bombarded with images digitally, socially. And a lot of it is curated and Instagram, and we don't know what's real, and they're filtered. So for and say, are we having a real conversation with somebody? And that's what I love, that this digital platform and Instagram, for me particularly, I've really been able to communicate directly with the women who I see using my product who are loving it.
Right. And is there a platform that you prefer to interact with them? I know with Instagram we have DMs. I mean, on Twitter we always have like a messaging platform, but is there one where you feel like you get the best feedback?
I mean, they're all great for certain uses, right? And it's like you have, things that are your go-tos in the morning. You're going to check this, you're going to do that, and then you always have to, see, who's saying what, who's responding on what platform, and obviously, you want to get to everyone and respond. Personally, I find that with beauty and with the conversation we're having, Instagram's a great pipeline for me, because the images I see from people and what I can share, I feel are so elevated and beautiful, and also accessible. And I think that it's easy. And I want people to feel that beauty should be exciting. Beauty shouldn't be something where we're told to cover up. And that's sort of been what's so unfortunate over the years, is that we always look at a magazine and we see these people who are beautiful and airbrushed, and it's not how anybody looks. Like, I don't look like this. I came in here and I put lipstick on and makeup because I'm on camera. And I think we really need to let women define what beautiful is for themselves and say, who gets to do it? Well, we get to do it. How do we celebrate it? And men are part of this conversation too, Brenda. I think men can do a huge great of good in the beauty industry, because they're going to tell their girlfriends, you don't have to put so much stuff on your face. And wow, like my morning routine got simpler, and I'm saving money because I'm not buying all this stuff. And I think what we are able to do now with technology, with social platforms, is have a real honest conversation. That's the conversation I want to be driving for Bianca Della Garza Beauty, is that we need people to feel good about themselves, enhance their inner glow, and not be preyed upon. Because beauty can be very challenging, because we grew up thinking it's one way, and then our moms put on lipstick, or
Right.
how do we shape what we think about beauty?
Right.
And then, so it may be geographically, if you grew up in, Europe, you're going to think beauty's one way. If you're French, if you grow up in India, you're going to have a whole other beauty ritual, right? So then we get out into the world, though, and no matter what, we get bombarded with media images. So it's deciphering that, and that's where things get a little tricky. And my passion really is letting women really be bold and fearless with their expression of themselves.
Yeah, and I think we're really entering that time where it's finally okay. I think when Instagram first launched, we had filters and more filters and editing and all these apps that let you just not look like your authentic self. So with that being said, where do you see your line going in the future, now knowing that we are embracing this, more natural beauty?
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. I think it's great because it lets young girls who are forming their thoughts about beauty and wrapped up in their self-esteem, it lets them feel good that they don't have to be perfect. It releases a lot of the stigma, or they don't have to rush out. It's all about intentionality, but it also lets older women, their moms, feel okay about, like, no, I'm not going to say this is anti-aging. We do not say that at my line. We say, that's a battle we're not going to win. Why would we waste 1 ounce of energy to try and we're all getting older. I mean, since this interview began, we're already older.
Right.
Like, so let's stop trying to, waste our energy on a conversation that isn't relevant. So for me, I think it's beautiful that we see, celebrities going natural and not wearing so much makeup, because we're like, oh my gosh, you're a real person. Thank you. You're
Right.
just like me.
Right.
And everyone wants to be validated. Everyone wants to feel good about themselves. Beauty can do that, but it can also not do that. So I think the more messaging that we can flood into the ethers of, like, be who you are, be fearless in your self-expression, know who you are. This young generation of women, I feel like they need to know this message, grasp it, hold on to it when they're 18, when they're 28, because what a great army of women we'll have there. Because I'll tell you, that self-esteem, and if you feel good about yourself without putting anything on, that's something no cosmetic line can sell you. And we need to buy that self-love in huge doses for ourselves, because we're not going to find it on a shelf in a beauty counter, and we're not going to find it on Instagram. So we have to generate a message through our digital platforms of this innate self-love.
Yeah, agreed. And I think being aware of that now, I think it was kind of hard to point. People didn't really want to point it out, but I think with brands like yours, we're getting there. So
thank you so much. Well, it's important, and I
Yeah.
think that being a woman in the world is not, it's our own set of challenges. And I think that I look at anything and say, what am I doing to drive a conversation that helps humanity and helps us feel more connected, not disconnected? Right. I don't want people to feel like they can't be that person that they see on Instagram. It's like, no, you can be who you want to be. You can express. Beauty is a way to express yourself. I mean, beauty is the least superficial thing we can really talk about. It's not just a tutorial on YouTube. Beauty is art. It's music. It's seeing someone across a room and going, like, I'm really attracted to that person. Like, that's life energy. Beauty is like what is the universal tug at all of us. And that's why I think the subject has to be elevated to what it is, which is complex, but also joyful.
So where can people find you to be able to be this inspired?
Oh, well, you can find me over on Instagram.
Yeah, you can tell our viewers your handle so they can follow you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's at Bianca Della Garza Beauty and at Bianca Della Garza Official. And I have a website that obviously we do newsletters and things like that. But I think the real bottom line is like, let's have an honest conversation about beauty and let people feel good about themselves. And if you want to go and you want to wear a lot of makeup, that's okay too. If you want to go get plastic surgery, that's okay. I'm not saying we should just drop the judgment. And as long as people are doing it with a clear intention and not feeling they have to conform to a mass media standard of beauty, which is unrealistic, we should be totally cool with that.
Agreed. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I love the show, and it's like such cutting edge stuff, so we really appreciate you having us here in New York.